Bhavika ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
I cannot see the option to share the screen as we can't see it.
You don't have the option. Wait, ma'am, then I'll share the presentation.
If there is a problem, we can do it without the presentation as well. That will not be a problem.
No, that's not a problem. If you want, I can share it. No issues.
All right, that will be fine.
Is the screen visible, ma'am?
It is visible, ma'am.
Yeah. So should we start, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. We can start.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, students. So today we
Good morning,
have
mom.
Miss Amreen Khan. Ma'am is a trainer and facilitator. She has over 15 years of experience with she's worked as HR training, hospitality, aviation, and management industry. And so today she's here with us to take a session on business etiquette. And we really look forward to this session, ma'am. Hope we'll gain a lot of new insight to how we are how we are supposed to function and conduct ourselves in times to come when we join the professional world. So over to you, ma'am. Welcome to Bharti Vidya Peeth, and the you can take over the session, and you can just let me know when to flip the slides.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much. To start with, I'd like to thank you and Bharti Vidyapeeth to invite me today to talk about business etiquettes and grooming with the students. It's an absolute pleasure, and I'd like to say hello to all the students. I understand that we were all looking forward to basically join college and have fun, but because of this pandemic, we are all stuck at home and we're not really able to go out take actual classes. But I'm sure this too shall pass, and we'll get back to our normal routine. And definitely, we'll have our real classes very soon, and we'll be able to share our experiences in a better way. But still we'll still try to do our best to share whatever we can and bring out the best in whichever ways we can. With this, I'll start with my session, and I'll be talking about business etiquettes and grooming today. uh, I'll be talking about business etiquettes first, and then we'll move on to the grooming. Before I start, I'd like to just tell you that if you have any questions in between, you can raise your hand, and I will address to your questions. And if you want to, give your inputs or share anything, you can still raise your hands, and we'll give you an opportunity to talk. Right? So I'll start with the talk today. Before I tell you, I'll like to ask you that what do you understand by business etiquettes? When I say business etiquettes, what comes to your mind? What do you think I'm talking about? Anyone who would like to share their views on this? I want all of you to participate. I don't want this to be, a one-way communication where only I am talking and you are listening. I want all of you to participate, all of you to tell your views. Like, what do you understand when I say business etiquettes? What comes to your mind? What do you think I'll be talking about today?
Manners and
Ma'am,
ethics in
business
the business.
etiquettes means the way we interact with other person while doing business.
All right. You mean to say that they're the ways that how we interact with other people, right?
Ma'am,
All right.
like customer, supplier, and outside bodies.
All right. All right. Anything else anyone would like to say? I think someone was saying something.
Manners and ethics in business organization.
Manners and ethics in business organization. Absolutely. Anything else anyone wants to add?
Ma'am, the manners and the way we present ourselves in while doing business with other people.
All right. The
The
manners and
way of representation.
the way we represent ourselves in a when we are dealing with other people in a business setup. Agree. Anything else anyone wants to add? Anything else at all?
Yes, actually, in a business, we have to make a relation with our customer, suppliers, and every outside body in which a business deals with. So, in business etiquettes means that there are some rules which have to be followed when we are interacting with some people in the business.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with your points. Anyone else who wants to add it to it? Anyone else? All right. So I think I'll move on with this. All of you, whoever has given the inputs, are actually absolutely right. You are absolutely correct when you say that this is the way that we present ourselves. These are the manners that we need to have when we're dealing with people around us, or when we are working with our customers, or when we are working with the vendors, etc. If I would like to give out, explanation of business etiquettes, I would say a similar thing, and I would say that it is a set rules and regulations or set behavior that is expected out of us when we are working, in a business environment, in a workplace. So we maintain our dignity, our professional image, and also we respect other people's space. We don't really, offend anyone, or we don't really get into anyone else's space. Ma'am, can you flip the slide, please? Bhavika ma'am, can you please flip the slide? All right, I think there's a problem, but we can still continue without flipping this slide as well. So
Ma'am,
after,
is it not visible? I've changed the slide.
I can still see the first slide. I don't see the next slide.
You can continue in the meanwhile. I'll just try to do it because it is my end.
Absolutely. I think we can leave the slide. If it is creating a problem, we can just continue with the session. We can do it without the slide as well. That will not be a problem at all. Okay, so after that we have discussed that what do we expect when we talk about business etiquettes, what do we think about when we talk about business etiquettes, we'll quickly move on to different things, different parts of it, and discuss how we implement our etiquettes on different things, so we project ourselves as better professionals, right? So first thing that I would like to discuss with you is email etiquettes, right? We all write emails when we are in a workplace, to exchange ideas, or probably to communicate a message, or maybe, to ask for some information. So we all write emails, and we're supposed to write like formal emails. I'm sure all of you have written emails in some point of your life, and I would like you to share your experiences. If you have written any emails, maybe to your friends, family, or maybe a formal email. If you have written an email, kindly share that with us, like what you wrote. Whom did you write that email to? Share that with us. Anyone would like to share? Anyone?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, while writing an email, we must mention all the details like application number and all the enclosure documents, which will help in doing that.
Absolutely, absolutely right. I'd
And
like
we
to
must
know.
treat with, yes,
Sorry.
ma'am.
Yeah, I would like to know that if you have already written an email, I'm sure you have written. So, if you have written an email to someone, maybe a friend or a formal email, what did you write? What was it about? And I mean, how did you go about it? Is what I basically want to know here.
Ma'am,
I had
basically, I had
written
written, yeah.
about a organization.
Okay, can you say that again? I just missed it. Can you say that again?
I had written an email to the Dell organization. It
Okay.
was a complaint regarding a laptop.
Okay, so what did you write?
Uh, Actually, I had written that 2 months before, so let me open my Gmail and check it out.
I
Can you
think we
please
do
give me
it
2
later
minutes?
because no. Probably we'll discuss it later because we want quick responses so we can just continue with the session. We still only have 15 minutes and we have a lot to talk about. So maybe later, next time. Anyone
Yes,
else
yes,
would like?
sure, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So anyone else would like to share the brief experience of how maybe if you wrote an email to your friend or maybe to the family, if you would like to share like how did you start your email and what did you do?
I recently wrote an email to
Hmm.
Bharti Vidyapeeth only
Okay.
regarding
All
I
right.
was having an issue while signing in, so that's why I wrote an email. I mentioned the subject and then salutations regarding like good
Okay.
morning or good evening, and then I wrote the formal email in which
Okay.
I presented my concern, followed by
Okay.
a thank you, and then I sent the email. So these were
All
the
right.
main points that I wrote on the email, including the subject, the salutations, the
Okay.
main concern, and the thank you. So if we write an email, whether formal or informal, I think these are the basic terms that we include in the email.
Absolutely right. Whatever inputs you have given are actually right, and I would like to elaborate on the same. So basically, there are two kind of emails. Whenever we're writing email, they can be a formal email or they can be a casual email. Casual emails are usually when we are writing to maybe a friends or to a family, and the language in the casual email is you can just be very friendly and you can you don't really have to be formal while greeting them or taking their name, and you can simply just precisely write your message. Whenever you're writing a formal email, you have to be you have to ensure that you sound professional, right? And you are precise, you write to the point. I mean, you are just not using slangs or unnecessary emojis. You have to ensure that you're writing a professional email. So we start from the beginning when we write the subject line. What do we write in the subject line? Basically, in the subject line, we have to briefly mention that what are we going to write in the email. You have to ensure that it is only a sentence, right? Not more than a sentence. For just few words to ensure that you mention what you are about to say in the email. After that, you have written a subject line. You come to addressing. How do you address in an email? How do you address an email? How do you write the name of the person that you are addressing your mail to? Can anyone tell me how do you start an email? How do you address a person whom you're writing an email? Anyone who would like to share? Okay, I think I'll continue
Practice
with.
just write his or her name. That's all.
So if you're writing an email to me, you write Amreen.
No, ma'am, not no.
No, ma'am,
No,
Ma'am,
just
it
we
is
one
not
start
right
name.
with the
Give
name.
the three names. Just
salutation
Full
one name.
name.
like
Give
So
the three
one
dear
names.
person,
Ma'am, respected ma'am or sir.
or respected.
respected ma'am or sir. Okay. Anything else that you think you could write? Anything else anyone would like to add? Okay. So I'll give you a little inputs on this. Basically, you write, maybe you can write respected or maybe you can write dear. If you know the name of the person, you should address them by the name. And if you don't know whom you're writing your email to, then you can write ma'am or sir. For example, if you're writing an email to me, what would you write? Dear Miss Amreen Khan, right? If you can write dear Miss Amreen Khan or you can write dear Miss Khan, but you cannot write dear Miss Amreen. You getting my point? You can either write my full name or my last name with Miss, but you cannot write only Miss Amreen. That will be wrong. So ensure whenever you're addressing a person with their name, write their full name or a salutation and their surname, right? And after you have addressed the email, how are you going to greet them? What do you write when you greet them? Do you greet them or you just simply move on to your message, whatever you want to write in the email? What do you do? Do you greet them? And if you greet them, how do you do that? Anyone would like to share that with me? How do you greet? Do we greet or we just start writing the email? Like we just move on to the content part of it? Okay, no one's giving input, so I think I'll move on with this one. We definitely greet. We always write greetings or greetings of the day. All right, and probably we can write hope you're doing well, and then we start with the main content of the email. In the main content, ensure that you be to the point, you be precise. I mean, we don't want to give out too many details, and we don't want to write a lengthy email because if the email is too long, people tend to miss it. I mean, they generally don't want to read it. So make sure they are short sentences, crisp, precise, and to the point. And it shouldn't be too long. And if you have like few things to say, write each in a different paragraph, right? After you have written the main body of the email, you conclude your email. How do you conclude it? You write that I look forward to hearing from you soon, or looking forward for a speedy response or a positive response. And then you conclude it by writing thanks and regards, and you write your name and your contact details, and maybe your phone number if you want to add, right? Also, if you are sending any attachments in the email, you ensure that you mention them in the text, right? To tell them that you will be enclosing maybe documents, or maybe the CV, or maybe an application letter. Ensure you mention that in the email itself. And whenever you're writing the address in the two column, and if you're using CC and BCC, it will all depend. Like if you are addressing your email to multiple people and you want them all to see each other, you can use the CC option. And if you don't want the people to see whom all you're sending your email to, you should be using the BCC option. So that's the basic etiquettes of writing an email. And ensure that your language is very formal and very professional. You should not sound casual. You should not use sentences that look casual, right? So you have to ensure that you pick up sentences, lines that gives a professional image of yourself. So basically, these were the few points that I wanted to share. There's one more tip that I would like to share here, that I would always suggest you to write the email address of the person at the last, after you have completed written your email, and also when you have also done all the attachments. Because a lot of time that happens that we write an email and it's still incomplete, and by mistake we send it, or maybe we have not put the attachments, and by mistake we send an email, and then it's like very awkward and embarrassing that we send an incomplete email. So ensure you write an email, proofread it, right? You reread it to ensure that there are no mistakes. You ensure that you have put all the attachments in it, and at the last, write the address of the person, email address of the person that you're sending to, and send the email, right? There's someone who's raising their hand. Please go ahead with the question. Anyone wants to ask something? Was it by mistake? Anyways, so I'll move on with it. That was all that I wanted to share about email etiquettes. Do you have any questions on this topic? Anything that you'd like to ask about email etiquettes? Anything that you would like to know, or maybe you want to share about this? Anything more that you want to share about this? Anyone? So I assume that you have understood it so well and you can write perfect emails from now. All right. Okay. So from email etiquettes, I'll move on to mobile phone etiquettes. All of us have mobile phones these days. Some of us even have like 2 mobile phones, right? So what do you think are the etiquettes that we should try to follow when we are in the work environment, when we are in a workplace? What do you think? How should we be dealing with our mobile phones? What should we be doing? Like to give your ideas, please. This is like very simple. I'm sure you're all using your mobile phones and you know it already. So your inputs, please, on this.
The
mobile phones on silent.
On silent is one thing. All right. Anything else that we want to do? What else would we want to do with our mobile phones? We just put it on silent and keep it aside when we are at office. What do we do? What if I put it on silent and someone keeps calling me, and I'll never get to know only that someone's calling me, and I'll probably miss the important calls if I put it on silent all the time? What else can we do? Any ideas? I think this one is pretty simple. We are doing it already.
Ma'am, we must avoid talking about personal or confidential topics in public places.
Absolutely, I agree to that. We should skip talking about unprofessional things when we are in a workplace. Absolutely. Anything else? All right, so this one is pretty simple. I'll just be, Someone wants to say something. It was not audible. You want to say that again?
Put it on silent.
I cannot really understand what you said.
Ma'am, we should be very careful with our language that we are using while talking on the phone in
Absolutely.
public places.
Absolutely. Anything
Ma'am, we
else?
must be in control of our phone, not let it control you.
Good point. Yes, absolutely. We should take control our phone, and we should not let our phone control us. Absolutely. Anything else? Okay, so there'll be a few simple points which are like very common that I'll still like to share with you. First thing, do not ever put any awkward ringtones, right? uh, a lot of times in a hustle bustle of a meeting, or maybe, you're late to the office, or maybe you are too occupied, and just before an important event, we forget to put our phone on the silent mode or on the vibration mode. And if suddenly it rings, it is really awkward if you have, some undecent kind of a ringtone on your phone. So ensure that you always have a decent ringtone, a subtle ringtone. And even if you, forget to put your phone on silent, it will not be awkward for you. All right. And it is not practical to keep your phone all the time on silent, because if you do that, you are going to miss an important call. So we have to ensure that we get notified when our phone rings that someone is calling us. So we ensure that we put decent ringtones on our phone. Also, when we have the wallpapers or whatever pictures that we put out on phone, they are decent. Don't put too vulgar pictures, because a lot of time your phone is on the work table, and there are people around who can, when the phone rings, or if there's a text message, people can see the picture that you have on your phone. So ensure that the picture is decent. It talks about your personality. You can put whatever you want to, it's your phone, but when you're in work environment, ensure whatever your phone has, if it rings, or if there's something on the screen, it looks professional, it looks at least decent then, right? And as someone said that we should always talk professional things, try and avoid making personal calls unless and until they are very important. And another thing, if someone hands over their phone to you to maybe look into a picture or a document, right, just look into that particular picture. A lot of people have this habit that they browse through the entire phone. Someone will hand over their phone to you, you will see one picture, and you'll keep browsing through the phone, and you'll try to look into everything. That is absolutely wrong. You shouldn't do it. You should respect the other person's privacy. If they are sharing a certain thing with you, ensure that you see that certain thing and return the phone right there. You shouldn't try to look into anyone's phone. Otherwise, also, a lot of people, they do it. If someone's on a chat or maybe writing an email, they have a habit of peeping into the phone or into the laptop and see that whom are they talking to. So we shouldn't do it. Basically, we should try and respect everyone's personal space. So basic manner says that give a person their space and do not try to look into the phone unnecessarily. These are the basic things that we should follow with phones when we are in a work environment, when we are in a professional setup, right? Next to it, I'll talk about punctuality. Punctuality is very important when we are in workplace. Why do you think it is important? What do you understand when I say punctuality? What do you understand by it? What am I trying to say? I think it's a very common thing that I'm talking about. I'm sure you all know about it. So maybe one or two of you who would like to share, like, what do you understand when I say punctuality? What do you understand by it? Punctuality is a very simple word. We all have heard about it. We have been trying to be punctual. So what do you understand when I say punctual? What do you understand by it?
Right actions on right time.
Punctuality is right actions on right time. Okay. Anything else?
Adhering to the time and rules.
Adhere to the time and rules. All right. Anything else anyone would like to add here? Punctuality. We are all trying to be punctual, isn't it? So what are we doing, trying to do? Punctuality is as simple as being on time, isn't it? It's just about being on time. So basically, when I say punctuality, it means being on time. But what I want to say here is be 5 minutes before time. Why do we want to be 5 minutes before time? Basically, if we arrive at our workplace or for important things 5 minutes before the time, uh, someone says mic is on, can disturbing for me. It's Dolce, I think. Can you put it on mute? Thank you. So basically, it's about arriving 5 minutes early to the expected time. Why do we do that? We do that to basically fix any unexpected issues if something arises. If I'm supposed to reach at a certain place at 11 o'clock, if I reach there and suddenly realize that maybe I have missed my phone somewhere, or maybe there's something that is not right, I will not have time to fix it or to deal with the situation. So I always say that punctuality means being 5 minutes early. So in case there's something that is wrong that needs to be fixed or that needs our attention, we still have that a window to basically fix it, and we'll still be organized and be in our senses to carry out the task that we were supposed to. So I think punctuality. When we talk about punctuality, we try to be 5 minutes early to whatever work we are trying to go to, right? Uh, after punctuality, I would like to talk about a handshake, right? When we are in a business setup, we generally, shake hands with people when we meet them. So, anyone of you who would like to share, what do you understand by handshake? I'm sure you all have done it at some point of your life, and we generally do it when we meet our friends or family or other people. So, what do you think we do when we do a handshake? How do we do it? It's a very simple thing, I'm sure, but I would still like to know from you that what do you do when you do a handshake? What kind of a handshake you do? Anyone would like to add? You have never done a handshake with anyone? Okay, I think no one has an experience of it, or maybe not experience enough to basically share. Okay, so when we do a handshake, when with someone, basically when we meet someone, we do a handshake. If we already know a person, then we don't introduce ourselves. We do a handshake, and we probably ask them that how you doing, how are you, how have you been. Or if we are meeting with someone for the first time, we definitely introduce ourselves like, "Hi, I'm Ambreen. Good morning, I'm Ambreen," and and the other person also introduces themselves to us. So when basically what we want to talk here is that when we do a handshake, what kind of a handshake we're trying to achieve. It shouldn't be too firm. When you are shaking hands with someone, ensure that you're not squeezing their hands too hard, nor it should be too light. Basically, you just don't want to touch their hands and get off. You have to make a firm handshake, right? You have, and when you do a handshake, ensure that it lasts for about 2 to 3 seconds. I have even seen some people that they'll just hold your hand and they'll just not let it go, and then they'll just keep talking and they'll talk and talk and talk, and then it's a bit awkward for the other person. So ensure when you shake hands with someone, after 2 3 seconds you take it off and gently take it off. I'm just don't pull away. You have to gently take it off and ensure that you hold their entire hand. Like if you can see my hand, if we were in a regular normal classroom, we would have practiced it. But since it's a virtual classroom, the only way to demonstrate it is I can show it to you on my hands. Otherwise, we could have practiced with each other. So basically, what do we do is we hold each other's hand like that, completely and firmly. We don't do that, I've seen a few people who they'll just touch each other's hand for the formality's sake and take it off, or maybe they'll just hold it too tight and keep shaking it. We don't do that. We just do it firmly once and we leave it in 2 3 seconds, and you don't have to actually shake it. Though it's called a handshake, but you actually don't shake the other person's hand. You just do a firm handshake and take it off in 2 to 3 seconds, and you definitely introduce yourself if you're meeting for the first time. Also, when you're doing a handshake, ensure you maintain an eye contact. Uh, how do we maintain an eye contact, right? We look into the other person's eyes. Now, there's a difference between an eye contact and a stare. I mean, tomorrow you'll say, and start looking into someone's eyes continuously, and you'll say, "Ma'am told us to do an eye contact, so I'm staring into your eyes." So basically, what I'm trying to say here is, you look into the eyes of the person you are shaking hands with, or maybe you're talking to or addressing to. You take away your gaze for a second, look somewhere else, and come back again. All right, so that makes an eye contact. If you continuously keep looking at someone's eyes, it is going to be awkward. It will be a stare, and the other person is going to get uncomfortable if you keep continuously looking into it, right? So ensure you look into the eyes of the person you are talking to. Take your gaze away for a second and come back to them again and look into their eyes and talk, right? So that's the correct way of maintaining an eye contact. So whenever you're shaking hands with someone, you also maintain eye contact with them and meet and greet with them. Anything that you want to ask so far on the topics that I have covered before I move on to the grooming part? We have spoken about handling emails. We have spoken about handling mobile phones, being punctual, maintaining a good eye contact, and shaking hands in the workplace. Anything on these 5 topics that you would like to ask? Any questions that you have so far? Anything? No questions. So I assume that you have understood everything. Basically, we're talking about very basic things, of course, and I'm only trying to cover the main parts of it because we are short on time. We just have about 40 minutes to talk about everything. So we're just talking about the basics of everything. If we again get an opportunity to talk, maybe we will elaborate on each part more. So I assume that you have no questions on the topics that we have discussed so far, and I will move on to my next topic, which is grooming, right? When I say grooming, what do you understand by grooming? What do we want to discuss when I say grooming? I'm sure you're all familiar with this word, grooming. What
A decent look.
a decent look, all right. Anything else? Anything else? When we say grooming, business grooming, what do we understand? What are we trying to talk about, business grooming? What are we trying to talk?
Personality development.
Personality development, okay.
Make
And
someone look their best.
make someone look their best, all right. And anything else? Business grooming, when we talk about. Okay, so so far, uh, people have told me that grooming means personality development. Grooming means looking our best. Uh, that these are the inputs that I've got. I would also like to add my definition to it. Grooming is basically, presenting ourselves in a way that we look professional, we look sophisticated, and we give an image of we give out a formal image. Basically, that is what we're trying to achieve in grooming. When I say grooming, I actually don't mean that we groom ourselves to go to a party or to a friend's place. We basically will be talking about how do we dress up, how do we carry ourselves when we are in our workplace, when we are in the business environment, or maybe we are in the offices. How do we carry ourselves? So we'll be talking about men and women both, right? We'll be talking about boys and we'll be talking about ladies, how you're supposed to dress up and how you should carry yourself to look better. So when I talk about the kind of dresses that women can wear, uh, give me your input. What do you think women can wear when they're in their workplace? What all things they can wear? Girls in the class, or maybe boys in the class, would like to add to it. What do you think you can wear? It's a pretty simple question. Okay, it seems no one has an idea that what they can wear to the workplace. No problem. So basically, we can wear shirts, formal shirts. We can wear trousers. We can wear a skirt. When I say a skirt, I mean a knee-length skirt. I mean, it shouldn't be a short skirt. It shouldn't be a long skirt. It should be just enough to cover your knees, basically. And when I say you can wear shirts, you can wear, subtle color shirts, shirts with small prints or small pinstripes. The patterns on the shirt shouldn't be too big. I mean, you cannot wear big flowers on your shirt or maybe big checks. They just don't look formal. So ensure that you wear simple and small patterns or maybe plain shirts. The collars of shirts shouldn't be too big, right? And colors should be decent. I mean, can be any colors, can be dark or light, but should look decent. Shouldn't be too bright, basically, for the work environment. And blazers, definitely you can wear blazers, and definitely it adds on to your personality if you carry a blazer in your attire. And you should wear you should try and match your accessories. What do I mean when I say accessories? Basically, if you're wearing a belt, if you're carrying a bag, or if you're wearing a watch and shoes, ensure all these things are coordinated. If you're wearing a black belt, you wear black shoes and you carry a black purse. And if you're wearing maybe a brown belt, you wear brown shoes and carry a brown bag, and maybe the strap of your watch is brown. Now you will think, ma'am, who goes into so much of details? But let me tell you, this definitely makes a difference. I mean, if you follow these things, it definitely makes you look better than others, and you definitely stand out of the crowd. That definitely happens if you keep these details in mind, and if you follow these things, you definitely going to make an impression. So we try and coordinate the accessories that we are wearing. We also try and coordinate the jewelry that we wear. For example, if I am wearing a ring and I'm wearing an earring, and if I'm wearing maybe a chain, if I'm wearing a gold ring, I ensure I wear gold earrings and similarly a chain. And if I'm carrying silver jewelry, then everything has to be silver, including the dial of my watch. So these little things do matter, absolutely. And about hair color, if you use a hair color, ensure they're natural colors. Don't use greens and reds and blues. Natural colors that suits your natural hair color and your skin. And similarly, in case you use contact lenses, they should be natural colors. They shouldn't be, I've even seen people wearing white lenses. It looks just too spooky. Don't do that. Wear natural colors, all right? So colors which suits your natural skin, your natural eyes, basically. And about the makeup, where you should wear makeup, it makes you look more professional, makes you look more confident, definitely. But ensure you wear natural colors and subtle makeup. Don't go overboard. Don't try to put fluorescent colors or bright greens or electric blues. Try and carry natural subtle colors. Carry your hair neatly away from your face. They shouldn't be falling on your face all the time. Whatever hairstyle you carry, ensure it is away from your face is basically what we're trying to achieve. I think this is all I wanted to share about the dressing and grooming sense for women. Anything that you would like to ask so far about whatever I have discussed? If you have any questions on this, I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions. You'll be thinking, can I wear this? Can I wear that? Is it allowed? Is it not allowed? Anything that you would like to ask here? No
No, ma'am.
questions. We all
No,
know.
ma'am.
Okay, so we all know that what are we supposed to wear exactly. All right, that's great actually. So after discussing about ladies, I would like to discuss about men. What are they supposed to wear? How are they supposed to carry themselves? Are they supposed to groom themselves, or is it like okay, we can just wear our clothes and walk out? And if anyone wants to add it, you think it is required for men? Grooming is required. You just have to wear your clothes and move out. Anyone like that? Okay. Someone's mic is on. Please put it off. Put it on mute. Okay. So definitely grooming is required for men as well. Why do we need grooming for men? Obviously to make them look more uh, neat, make them look more professional and sophisticated. Men should also groom themselves. About the dressing, definitely you should be wearing a shirt, a trouser, and definitely blazer adds on to it. And as I have spoken about, ladies, that you should coordinate your accessories, your belt, your bag, and your shoes. It goes same for the men as well. You should also try and coordinate all your accessories, including your watch. And about hair, definitely short trimmed hair. And in place, if you want to use a gel or any product on your hair to make them look stay in place, you should definitely use them. And you should also not color your hair into bright colors or awkward colors like red or blue or green. Try and keep them natural. And you shouldn't keep hair too long. I mean, if you're thinking that you can make a ponytail or something, you can't do that. And those patterns that people make on their hair, you shouldn't do that. You should just keep it too simple. And about the lenses again, natural color lenses if you wear. Don't try to wear greens and blues or grays. Just try to keep natural. And use a good moisturizer or a lip balm. Your skin shouldn't look too rough. And how often do we shave? Do we shave daily? Do we shave weekly? Or we can shave? It's just up on us, like how when we want to do it. What do you think? How often should we shave? Boys in the class or girls in the class, if you want to share, how often do you people shave basically? Once in a week, on weekdays? I'm sure you do it and you know about it. Are we sleeping or what? Are we not wake up or what?
In 15 days.
Once in a week.
Sorry,
Once in a week, man.
once in a week. Okay. Anyone else?
In 15 days.
In 15 days. Okay. And someone who does it like once in a month,
No, ma'am, once in a week.
once in a week.
You are
Okay.
asking about trimming also or only about shaving?
I'm sorry, I did not get that. What was it?
You are asking about trimming also or only about shaving you are
I'm
asking?
only talking about shave right now. I'm not talking about trimming of your hair. I'm only talking about shaving right now.
Approx 2 months.
Okay. I wasn't actually expecting these answers. Okay. So I'm a bit amused. Okay. So, okay. So people here are saying that they shave once in a week or once in a month, and someone even shaves once in 2 months. Okay. That's a surprise for me. Basically, what I want to tell you here is that we have to shave every day. Okay. We cannot shave once in a week. We cannot shave once in a month for sure. I have had people in my offices or the students who would say, "Ma'am, we don't shave on Tuesdays," or "Ma'am, we don't shave on Saturdays." I mean, you can't skip any day. You have to shave every day. You have to do it. I mean, you will think like, I mean, it will be very new to you, thinking that, you have to shave every day, but trust me, you have to do it. And that is how you look consistent every single day. You look smart every single day. Not you look good on the day you shave, and then next day you look a bit, not too good, and then you keep declining. So that shouldn't happen. We have to look perfect every single day. We shower every day, we shave every day. And about trimming your hair, whenever you think there's a need, you should trim it. So we shave every day. Can we do it? Is it possible?
No, ma'am.
No. Oh my God, no. You have to do it. Even if it is not possible, you have to achieve it. You have to keep doing it, and you have to achieve it. Maybe when you are in college, you can get away by not doing it every day. But trust me, once you are in a formal environment, once you are in your workplace, you have to do it. All right. That's what we are trying to achieve basically here. Eventually, you will have to do it.
Ma'am, why it is not allowed to have beard?
See, you can have beard, but I would always recommend that when you are starting your career, when you are, on a junior position, you shouldn't have it. Once you are promoted and you hold a better position, you are at a senior position, you can definitely carry a beard. But I would suggest that when you start a career and you're working as a at some junior position, you should avoid it. You look better without beard.
Okay.
Anything else anyone wants to ask here? And we try to shave. I know we are at home, we don't want to do it right now, but we try to get in a habit of shaving every day. That's what we want to achieve it eventually. Trust me, if we were in a normal setup, and if I was coming to your college every day, I would have ensured that you shave every day. I would have actually ensured. Anyways, so basically, we try and shave every day, and we try to keep ourselves as neat as much as possible. Uh, Use fragrances, use perfumes and deodorants, and please don't use. I've seen a few people using talcum powder. They wear it till here. You don't do it, right? Even if you're wearing it, I mean, it shouldn't be just visible. It should just not be visible. And you should smell pleasant. You should wear good perfumes or deodorants. And if this is for women as well. And about your nails, keep them trimmed, keep them clean. For women, you can definitely use natural color nail paints, maybe pearl whites or nude colors. But again, don't use colors like blues or greens or tacky or black. Maybe don't use them. Use just natural colors. When I talk about grooming, I will also talk about maintaining your posture, right? How you sit, how you straight, how you stand. Basically, whenever you're sitting, ensure your back is upright. When you're standing straight. You're not leaning. Whenever you're talking to someone, your chin is up. I mean, you're not stooping down and talking to someone. Ensure you maintain a good posture, because no matter how nice clothes you wear or how nicely you're groomed, eventually, if you're not maintaining your posture, if you're not standing straight or sitting straight, it will just not work. All right, you're not never ever going to make a difference. So ensure you maintain a good posture. And I mean, if you do it, it will enhance your overall personality. And one last thing that I would like to add here is, never ever forget to wear your smile. Always wear your smile. When you smile, you look confident, right? You look trustworthy, you look approachable. So wherever you are in a formal setup, otherwise also, even if you're not in a formal setup, you should always try and smile. Always wear your smile. So basically, these were the points that I wanted to discuss with you. Any questions so far you have about your grooming, or anything that we have discussed so far? I would like to address them. Anything you would like to share also, you can say now. Any questions? Like,
No, ma'am.
no questions? Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Anything? Okay. So I assume here, I don't know even if you want to ask anything. I mean, I assume that you know about your grooming, you know what to wear, how to look, and how to conduct yourself when you are in your formal setup. That is what I assume here. And I would like to wrap up my session here. And it was wonderful being with you here and talking about business etiquette and grooming today. It was an absolute pleasure, and I will look forward for such opportunities, more opportunities. And that's all from my side today. And I would like to thank Bharatiya Vidyapeeth and ma'am for giving me an opportunity to talk today.
Thank you, ma'am. It was quite an informative and interactive session. So on behalf of BVIMR, I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to you for sharing such valuable inputs regarding email etiquette, mobile phone etiquette, handshakes, grooming, which included dressing and posture. And you also talked about punctuality. Learnings from these sessions would surely help the students in their professional life ahead. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing out time and guiding.
It's an absolute pleasure for me being here today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, students, now at 10, you need to join in for your next session.